Okay.
Hi, I'm Lipstick, Woman of Drummer 2023. Hi, and we are doing our interview with Nyna, who is my den mother at Ramblewood in 2023. She is amazing and is part of uh,
ACLC.
ACLC. Thank you. Oh my goodness, on the West Coast. So, yay, we get to talk with Nyna. Thank you so much for doing the interview. And I just wanted to start out. And so, first question is, what is your name, pronouns, and why do you go by that name in the scene or the community?
Well, thanks for doing the interview with me. I'm excited to be doing something with Women of Drummer and with you. Um, and I go by my name, Nyna, and I don't have a alternate scene name. Um, I've done that for the whole time I've been out, and part of that comes from I was in the military before you could be in the military and being out gay. And when I did get out of the military after experiencing witch hunts, I was like, I hopefully will not have to be in the closet again. I like to be able to be authentically myself, and then I don't have to worry quite so much about how I'm, presenting myself on the world at large. Um, and also, I did have two children that I raised. They're now adults, but I always felt like it was important to not feel for them to think I was ashamed of who I am in any way. And so, um, being out in the community as who I am also allows people to vet me if they, want to find out who I am before they play with me, or if they want to consider playing with me and they want to talk to somebody who has, they can find me. And it's a little bit harder if you don't know how to vet somebody or look them up in some way. So that has always been sort of why I go by my name. Uh, I did have a situation where I was the San Francisco Leather Marshal, I think in 2009. And of course, there's a lot of press around that. And um, I was in a pony cart with a human pony. And as I was like going through the crowd, waving, I went past one of my CEOs of the hospital system I worked for. And I thought, hi, that's a career defining moment right there. And I was like, let's see if I have a job come Monday. it,
Yeah.
I was like, even if you can hide your name, if you are a public figure in the community, you can't always hide your face and who you are if you're really an out community oriented person. And I've had the privilege of being able to do that. And so that was one of those moments where I thought, oh, here goes my career, though. This might be a little bit too much. But I got back to work on Monday and everything was fine. And so I thought, okay, back to work as usual. So um, it does come with its ups and downs. So that's that is sort of why I've always gone by my name.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's a whole hilarious story. And I'm so glad it turned out well.
Me
You
too.
yeah, not has not always been the case. So I'm
Mm-mm.
glad that things are changing or, it's not as big a deal as it used to be.
Yeah, I wish it was less of a big deal, for people in their employment in other states and childcare situations. It can be used against you. So again, I'm really fortunate that I've always had the opportunity to be out and be public. So
And thank goodness. Oh, there's the cat. Yeah. We knew one of the cats was going to make an appearance. That's Bianca. Yeah. And I'm really glad because you are just so wonderful, and it's so fantastic to get to see you, and really glad that you have been in our community and are still here.
still alive and kicking.
Yes. As I hear, it's better than the alternative. I will
That's right.
always take that. So my next question is, how did you come to find Women of Drummer, and why have you been hanging out with this band of shenanigators?
You know, when I hear shenanigators, I think shit disturbers. But um, I found Women of Drummer. Well, I knew it was happening because I've been in the community, so I knew it was when it was starting in Vegas, and it it came in with a roar. Felt the best way I can put that, and I wasn't entirely sure I was going to go to Vegas or not. And then Max called me. Max was attending, had a designated role at the first Women of Drummer, and said, "Hey, how would you like to come to Women of Drummer with me and spend the weekend with me?" And I was like, "Oh, gee, I don't know."
A weekend with Max. Ooh, yes.
Weekend with Max. I don't know. Can I? Could I? But I already knew Tony. I had known Tony for years, and so Tony didn't know that I was going to be there. And so when I arrived with Max, well, Max got there before me because we were coming from different locations. But then Tony was like, "What?" I was like, "Hi, surprise guest." And so, yeah, it was a pleasure. The whole weekend was great. It was a lot of fun. And I was delighted to have the opportunity to show up and be there. And I didn't really think, oh, okay, I'll continue to show up year after year. But it, Tony kind of kept encouraging me and gave me things to do. And involved me. I was a judge one year. And so, and then this past year, I got to be a den mom. So it's been an opportunity, and I love the sex positivity. I love the fact that it gives women an opportunity to explore themselves in a way that's supportive. And I really love the regional model. I like that title holders are doing more with the title than just show and tell, dressing up. I mean, I think it's great to dress up and look fabulous. That's right. But I think that it's also wonderful to be able to sit down and bring small groups of women together in intimate ways and provide safe space for them to talk and to get to know each other and to explore different things. And it's the regionals provide kind of that opportunity to have icebreakers so people maybe think, well, I would like to try something. They seem, like approachable. And then they have a chance to vet them if they want to do a little bit more. So I like the model, I think is really what it comes down to. And I like that there are people who also like that model and want to be positive about sex and sexuality and fun. So
Yeah, 100%. I like that. And as an introvert, I like the smaller groups. So I am on for getting to spend time, have a meal, chat with people, get to know them. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm just thinking of the Orlando blog that I just wrote. It's a lot of fun. and very sex positive. Yes. Great
Good.
times. Kind of on that same thread. So what is your favorite activity to do in the community?
It um I'm a very versatile kind of player. I've done a lot because I've been playing since the 80s. I've you know, I've probably, you name it, I've done it. I've It took me a long time to do needles and to do cutting kinds of things. Just That was sort of one of the last forays that I went into. But one of the first places I started besides erotic sensual play was with flogging. And so I really love flogging. I like versatility in that. Um, I like to start out with, depending on where somebody is in their experience, with the option that people don't have to be scared, and do something like a horsehair flogger or a fur flogger, something sweet and light, um, and sensual and erotic. And then, be able to take that farther with whatever they decide they like. Do they like stingy? Do they like something more thuddy? And do they like it more intense? And it for me, it gives a lot of room for interaction and a lot of different levels of play. Um, you don't have to be like starting at the top end of the play experience to enjoy it. And so it gives me that chance to have sort of intimacy and connection, and also to kind of go wherever the person wants to go, whoever I'm with. And I have this plastic flogger that I've had for years and years and years. And it's got these little nubs on it. Super, super stingy. And almost nobody likes it. But every once in a while, I'll find somebody who's like, I really like stingy. And I'll be like, I have the flogger for you. I get it out. And it's amazing. Um, and they're like, oh my God, it's really stingy, but they love it, and that's great. I mean, it's a rare person on that spectrum, right? More people I found I played with are more on the thuddy, floggy, kind of side. So I think I like it because, as opposed to needles, which I love needles, but it's more of a singular, kind of experience. You can do one or two for a beginner. You can do 100 if you're and bigger gauge. But vlogging gives you just a lot of versatility and fun to do. So I'd say that's probably one of the things that I like. But I like wax play. I like fire play. I like, you name it. I like doing it.
And I can truly like feel that is the connection. Like it doesn't really matter what we're doing, well, to a certain extent, but that I feel that connection and that love and just yeah, all that good tingliness. Yes.
Yeah. And I get totally high. I get, excited and high, and I get a rush. And so um people have always said to me, they're like, you're one of those people who light up when you play. You can tell you enjoy it so much. And I'm like, yep, I do.
I know, yeah, that's the best part. Sorry, I keep touching my nose because it's itchy. But yeah, it's my favorite, one of my favorite things too. And I think a lot of people, it just glows, it just beams out of you. And you can't help but like have that in that energy in the dungeon in the space. And yeah, love it. So I want to make sure I get this one correct. Tell us something that many women of drummer do not know about you. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I'm a really private person. So most people don't know a whole lot about me because you have to, I don't trust people easily. Um, And so I don't let a lot of people into my inner circle of friends and family. And so I'm like, except for somebody like Tony, who's known me for a while, a few years, most people don't know a whole lot about me. So I was trying to think of, what to say that, people wouldn't necessarily know, but might be of interest. And what I would say, that's kind of different in its own way is that since 1976, my best friend owned a ranch up in Mendocino. And at that time, it was a sheep ranch. And I would go up there because I had been in Texas and I was like, I want to go back and be in the country. And she was like, we only want people to come work. And I was like, I'm in for working. That's me. I want to come work. And she's like, well, it's going to be, things like shoveling horse manure. And I'm like, yes, cool. So I started going to her ranch in the 70s. And I never stopped. We became best friends. We went from sheep to cattle. And so we still have cattle. She passed away 3 years ago, and we were best friends, raised our family together. But my daughter now runs the ranch, and we have about 50 head of cattle. I'll be up there with her bringing the cattle in next month. And I go up and help her as regular as I can, but it is a different part of my life. It's not my career life, it's not my play life, it's not it's my country life, and it's rooted in that sort of cowgirl, cowboy history and mystique that I grew up with in Texas. And I love it. It's a part of who I am, and I love doing it. And I raised my daughter, so most of our roundup crew now are people who've been coming up and been around cattle since they were in their high school years also, and so it's like keeping this third generation of women owned, women ranching, and being a model in a different kind of way. So I come by those leathers, honestly.
Yeah, I love that so much. I knew I grew up on a farm in eastern Iowa. There goes the nose again. And I was like, oh, I knew it. Like you could kind of tell you're like, there's a little country in her. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. We might have to uh ride some horses together sometime.
Oh, hey, I just went on vacation with my daughter, and we were down in Mexico. Um, and we had the option of getting on horses and going out to this waterfall. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's stop this hiking thing. I'll have some
Yeah, no.
horses. Yeah. And that was how I celebrated my birthday last year when I brought in this birthday as I went on a horseback ride on the beach, also in Mexico. But yeah, anytime.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. Yes,
Maybe
deal.
we can get Tony to
Yes,
get some horses and Ramblewood.
yes. Instead of the golf carts, oh my goodness. Or we could have yeah.
We got some, volunteer ponies.
Yeah, exactly. Clop, 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 clop.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm looking here and I'm like, oh, I forgot a question. So going back to earlier with the activities, tell us about your favorite scene at a Woman of Drummer event, either watching or participating.
Well, um, that was a really hard thing to think about because I have seen so many wonderful scenes at Women of Drummer, and I really liked the whip circle we had one year. That was fun to watch. I've always enjoyed the contest scenes. they're always, people bringing their best selves. And so, boy, it's a hard one to really say this is my favorite, other than, one I might personally be involved with somebody. But I would say that I think it was in 2019. The two contestants that year were just amazing. And one of them, just watching the vulnerability of the person they were playing with was so amazing. The person that was AJ, and I just was like watching their face and how open and vulnerable and connected they were. And I was just like, wow. I just, felt like I could feel their energy connection and their bond. And it was super, super hot. And so that image has always stayed in my mind, of, how, but I remember watching people play like every year, every time the contestants have been playing and doing things, I've had some sort of flashback where I remember their play. And because it's a very hard thing to do, to play in in a room with all these people watching you and knowing people are judging you. And so for people to be really vulnerable and open always just kind of like pulls at my heartstrings and brings me into the environment, and being amazed and impressed with how awesome that is. So hard to pick out one, particular scene, because they're always also lovely. That's why we go to Women of Drummer.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like a really, really memorable one. And that was out at Ramblewood. The
Yeah. I think it was our first year at Ramblewood, if I'm remembering that correctly. Because we were only 1 year at Vegas and then out to Ramblewood.
Or Kinky Camp Extravaganza.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm excited to go back. Are you going back this year too? Not to put you
I
on the
think so.
spot. Okay.
I think so.
Excited. I'll be so excited to see you again and give you a big giant hug, and yeah, hopefully see you.
Well,
Yeah.
and I know we have regionals.
Yeah.
We have a lot of regionals.
We do. Yeah, we've
I'm
got
hoping that I'll see you in Reno. That's in July. I hope so.
yeah, there's
I don't think I'll see you in Costa Rica or Boston. Is it Boston?
Boston or LA. Those are the ones we've got left. So, but Reno, that sounds
Yeah.
good. We do Reno. Yay!
Who
Yay!
knows? Maybe I'll make it to LA. We'll see.
Keep my fingers crossed. Thank you so much for doing this first interview with me. I know I was a little nervous, so I hope it all turned out good. And you're just such a wonderful person. I send you so much love, and yeah, so glad.
Well, thank you for doing it with me. And, I look forward to seeing you in all of the opportunities, the occasions, and hope you have the, wonderful time for the rest of this year.
Yeah,
And,
it's going,
I
going
hope
good.
other people take the opportunity to, be a woman of drummer in the future, because, look how much fun it is.
I know we rock. We are fierce and kick butt with consent. And yes, we have
Yeah.
so much